Alright, in this first part I'm going to be going over this Morph Paint plugin, and I'll go over some of the basic stuff first, then we'll get into a little bit of fundamental. We got the three buttons down here. This is a Z plugin, and you put this in the Z plugin folder. As you can see, it's located up here. For more instructions how to get these buttons down here, you can find this information from the ZBrush website. And another thing is, you need to have UVs assigned to this, and for this to work I use this UV master right here. Works well. You've got to have UV assigned for this to work correctly. Another thing is, I do have a demo version, and this can only be loaded into the Z-script load, and you'll have one button, and you'll basically have this Morph Paint button here if you want to try it before, if you want to go ahead and apply for the full version. So it's actually try before you buy. Alright, another thing is, I'm just, like I said, I'm going to go over some of the basic stuff for this to work. This is for poly painting, and you need to have quite a bit of subdivision. I got it down to 4 right now. This is because it could go, I need a little bit higher, but the higher you go, the slower my computer will run. So I'll keep it kind of low, but you can see what I'm doing. The first thing you want to do is you want to press the visualize map, and if you don't, you can select here, and I'll show you why these buttons do what they do. If I press here, and you can see it morphed. Alright, if the active tool right now is the head, we can go ahead and hide the rest of any other subtools by pressing solo down here. This is part of the ZBrush anyway, this is not part of the plugin. Alright, and we'll move this back. As you can see, I just got a little pop up there. It's asking me to turn on the RGB. At this point in time, when I press any of these buttons from the left and one over to the right, there's no poly painting setup for this. You have to do it manually, but if you press the visualize one, which you need to do anyway, this will set up the poly painting for you. So if I was to press the morph displacement, you can see there's no displacement either. So what you need to do is you need to press the visualize right here to create a visualize map. So we'll press here, and before you do that, if you have a lot of polygons, you need to go ahead and go to the texture map, not texture map, UV map, sorry, and you need to assign enough size to have, for the transfer to your polygons. And by default, it'll make one by 1024 by 1024. So if you wanted to make a map a little bit larger, you can select here. And when you do that, you can see right now it made one by 1024 by 1024, but when I press it again, give it a few seconds, then I move my cursor back over here, it went to 2048 by 2048. And you must do this for the subtools also. So if I select here, let's press I'm going to click on the eyes with the Alt key, and when I do, you'll see that it's selecting. It'll tell me if I'm selecting the eyes or not. So switch into the eyes, okay, I press solo, and there's the eyes. There's no map to this. This is because it's a subtool. It'll eventually make one when you switch these back and forth. So if I was to make a map for this, you can see this one's 1024 by 1024. So if you want to change it, you need to go ahead and adjust your map for that. And usually if something that small, probably don't need to be very high. So once I press this again, alright, you can see now it says 512 by 512. Alright, we're going to go ahead and switch over to the head here. So I'll click the head. You can see it update over here. If the map is too dark for you, you can switch it to the texture palette, and there's a gradient colors down here. There's a main color and there's a secondary color. You can change them and kind of tinker with this whatever you want. They look like they're grayed out and you can't select them, but you can select them. So this one's really dark. I'm going to lighten this up a little bit, and I'm going to press visualize again. And this is going to light up the map. If it's not light enough, you can change it, or you can change it to a different color. So now when I morph it, now you can kind of see the outline of the face structure, where I can actually visualize where the eyes are at and where to paint. Alright, so if I was to paint in the mouth area, that's what's good about it, is you can paint in areas that you can't when it's closed up. So if I was to paint in this area here, then we'll morph it back, you can see it got in the mouth area. But the problem is, when the more you start painting on it, I'll paint one for the eyes here real quick. The more you start painting on it, the more that you're gonna start painting over the regular texture map here, and you're not going to be able to visualize what's going on because you're going to start erasing things. I'll show you here in a second. So if I was to let's go ahead and I'll put one across here. And I'll go up somewhere in the eyebrow here. Now you can see I can't see where the eyebrows are at. And you can also paint it when it's down like this if you want to. I usually like to frame this up a little bit when it's all flattened out, something like that. And then you can kind of see what's going on a little bit better. Alright, since like I said, it's starting where I can't see the eyes are at, or the eyelids or the eyebrows, we can switch over to the morph displacement. Now this will not show until it's flattened out, so we'll switch over here. And when we select it, when it flattens out, we'll be able to see the area that we're going to paint in. And you can see now it brought back in where I can see what I'm doing with the eyes. So if I decided I wanted to change this area here, just go ahead and now I can visualize where I'm painting at. And usually when the map's kind of real light, you can grab this little picker over here and drag to the same color right here and let go, and you can actually kind of erase with it. That's just a little extra tip for you. Now if the map is really dark, it will start showing up, as you can see over here on the right hand side. So we'll morph that back. And you can switch back and forth whatever you want. Just go ahead and press the X key and just drag over to this side right here. So eventually what will happen is you'll end up painting the whole thing, so really erasing is really not really a necessity right now. Just kind of showing you a little tip here. So it's basically, once you hold down and bring over to a color, you can see it update over here. So if I wanted the same color green here, I can put that there. Let's press the X key on that. And we'll displace that. Alright, I paused the video for a second. I wanted to switch colors and I did some other stuff here, and I'll just go ahead and bring this back to this one here. We'll just go ahead and switch this back, and we'll frame that back. And you can set up hotkeys. I don't know if I mentioned this for this right here, and you can find some more information on their website about that. Switch that back. You can also switch materials. I kind of like to stick with this basic material here. Seems to be alright. And another thing you can do, let's say that we'll switch back over here. We won't use the morph displacement map. You can also use this polyframe here if you want to go ahead and use that. A little difficult to see, but it'll work. And this is a good way if you want to paint behind the ears too. Because, you know, if you try getting up here and you try to paint behind the ears, it could be a little difficult, but when it's flattened out, you can see how close I got right there. Also works for subtools. Like I said, I'm going to hold the Alt key and I'm going to click on the eye, and if you look up here where my cursor is at in the left hand corner, it's going to tell you what's selected. So hold the Alt key and get by the eyes and click, and you can say switching to the eyes right there, and we can put it right here, and we can poly paint them right there if we want to, or change colors. Let's paint the teeth a little bit green here. So you can see if I flatten it out, I'll be able to start painting more on it all the way around it. And if I get too close to this one over here, these are poly grouped, and if I start painting, I'll show you a demonstration. If I start painting and I get a little too close to the other one, the paint will spew on it. So Control Z that. Now, with these poly groups, you can hold the Control Shift key and you can hide that, so I'll get it just on this one here. I have to draw the size up. Now it must be unhidden before you press any of these options over here, because if you don't and you press it, it's going to tell you part of your mess is hidden. So we'll click on the canvas with a Control Shift there, then we'll morph that back. And we'll press solo again so you can kind of see. And let's go ahead and do the eyes here. Let's do this one. this color. And let's get some of this color. Let's go ahead and switch back on that head here. And we do the displacement. And you can kind of see how that works. Okay, pause video again, and this is the B Rhino, and I assigned some UVs to him also, and just want to let you know this plugin is new, and it's only so far I've tested it, and I'm getting somebody else to test it, and keep an eye on it for a while if you get the full version, because if there's a problem, I'll be more than happy to fix it. And there could be something wrong with code or something, but for right now everything seems working fine. So if you get the full version, keep an eye on where you got it from, and I'll try posting a link somewhere around the video, and then you can download the demo or get the full version. And like I said, just check back to make sure that you got the current version. If there's a bug fix, that's gonna be, I'm gonna throw that in for extra if you get the full version. To a certain time, probably after about a week or two, if everything's going good, the plugin will probably stay the same, and it's on version A, so the versions will go up from A to B to C and so on. Alright, with this B Rhino here, we're going to go ahead and set up this map here, and this also sets up the poly painting. So I want to change some of my colors back. Switch this back here, kind of like that. We're going to go ahead and set this up here, and we're going to go ahead and morph this guy out. And when it gets to that certain point here, I like to frame it up. So you can see these got little toenails down here. I know where the toenails are. I've been messing with it. Like I said, it's got this is poly group, so you can hide certain things. So if I wanted to paint some of the toenails, I would click here, just kind of drag around this area. I'm just keeping the mouse held down instead of clicking on each one. And I'll drag over here. Let's go ahead and do that again, because I got that one. Sometimes it can be a little tricky. Sometimes you can't hide them all at once. See, I'll move a few toenails. Let's just do a quick one here. No problem. And we'll unhide it. And I'll morph it. And frame it up. And you can see it got right on the toenails. And you can see I missed a couple of them. I did that on purpose, but to distinguish the ones I missed, I can go back to map, and look around. Or I'm gonna put a little hint color right here on this little one here. Just put a little bit. Let me switch it over. Let's do green here. It's gonna let me know where I'm gonna select them. And we'll morph it. Alright, let's go ahead and start hiding some of this area. I see I spewed a little bit over here, so I'll just get this out of my way right now. Alright. Click this one. Let's remove this one. There's some of the green ones here. move a little bit out over here. Alright, I'm going to hold a color picker. I'm going to go to the blue right here. Then I'm going to start painting the green ones blue. Like I said, I'm not going to get too picky right now because it's just going to prolong the video. See if I can hide that one. There it goes. And let's just double check that. And frame it up. And you can see it painted all the toenails just right. Alright, let's scoop this guy back here. Or rhino, not guy, so. And I think there was some color that spewed over here. That's not a problem. We'll just fix that real quick. So hide that one. Here we go. Yeah, let's see how much subdivision we got here. It could probably stand a little bit more. Probably should have did that at the beginning, but I think that'll be alright. This works, you know, with conjunction of different plugins that ZBrush has got. So let's take a look real quick. And we'll frame that up. Let's take a look at the texture palette. Let's take a look at this checker one here. And we'll go ahead and let's see. We're gonna hide some of these here. Oh, that'll work perfect there. Let's switch the stroke to drag right. Let's bring this way out like this. Unhide it. That back, and you can see it got exactly where it was supposed to be. So if I was to select that, that's where the poly groups are at. So the checkered stayed just on where it was supposed to be at, right there. And of course, if you mess up, it's not a problem. The Control Z still works on here. That's how that works. And if you're having a hard time distinguishing something, morph it back. So the computer's getting a little bit slow, so I need to probably tone this down right now. It's because the video recording is on and I'm running ZBrush, so need to kind of tone that down so it don't if you're trying to hard to distinguish where the map's at when it's flattened out, you can go ahead and just paint a little bit right here. Just turn this off here. Switch colors. There we go. And I kind of want to get down a little bit closer. I don't want to get too close because I don't want it spewing over there, because I know this is grouped up here. So if I turn it on right at the horn there, so more paint, we'll find out where the orangish or the red is. We'll kind of fill that in A little bit more even there. Can go up a little higher. And we'll morph that back. Alright, this is going to wrap this up here. I didn't get into a lot of detail, but gave you the basics, and just a recap real quick. You need to set up your UVs and the plug-in, the UV master is good for this. As you can see, this Rhino's got UV islands, is what this is called, and makes things a lot easier to select too. And this first button here is really the first button, the visual button here, what visualize the map, is actually the first thing you want to select before you start selecting any one of these. And if the map's too dark or you want to change the color, you can go down to the gradients, main and secondary colors. And after that, you can choose the morph paint to morph with just paint, and then you can use displacement map as I showed you earlier. But anyway, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it. And like I said, keep an eye on the plugin if there's any kind of updates or anything like that that I need to fix, and I'll try keeping you updated where you get the link at to download it. Anyway, thank you.